All right, everyone, so I've got my oil heating for the onion rings. I use canola oil over vegetable oil. And so you want your oil at 350 degrees. We have this digital thermometer. It's basically infrared. That's what it is, infrared thermometer. So you just point it at it. You can see the screen here. And a red dot, I don't know if you can... I'll move it around. It's right here. But when you point it, it points at what you're taking temperature of. And right now we're at 267, 69 degrees. So we want it at 350. I've got it on medium. So once we hit 350, we can start putting our onion rings in. And that cobbler smells delicious, but I'm still not eating it because it's blueberry. Alright guys, we're almost ready to fry up these onion rings. Hopefully there's enough batter to cover all of them. Oh, we're ready. It fluctuates 348, 349, 350. We're ready. Alright, so I'm using a skewer. It's my last one actually, and I'm going to use it to pick up the onion ring, put it in the batter, let it drip a little bit. And that's how I'm going to cook them. So as you saw, I didn't even use a whole beer before I got to the consistency of this. Let's cook up a small one. Oops. Oops. That little one doesn't want to get in there. Well, first time making, well, second time. Like I said, the first time was a wash. I didn't have to tell you about that. I could have just went with this is the first time. But we'll be honest. Hopefully Glenn likes them, and hopefully this is a good recipe to keep. Alright, so we're going to go with that for now, and I'll be back when I flip them over. Alright everyone, so I found another skewer. Now I think this is my last one. But I'm going to use this one to flip them over. That easy. Maybe we'll get them a little more golden brown. Oh yeah. So I have not done anything for my stuff. I haven't cut potatoes. I haven't made my dessert. What I think I'm going to do is do everything for Glenn first, and then I'll work on my stuff. That way I know he's already fed, his dessert's made, and I don't have to worry about that. So then I'll do my stuff. Because I know if I don't make my dessert before I eat, after I eat, I will not want to make it. So that's what I'm going to do. All right. Oops. All right, I'm going to take the cobbler out now. All right, everyone, so the first batch of onion rings are out, and this one split open and it looked brown in the middle, so I thought maybe the onions burned, but look at that. They didn't burn, and when I cut them apart, the onion stayed inside the batter. So I'm going to have Glenn try it and see if he likes it. So I'm still cooking all the other ones, so this is just the first batch. Alright everyone, so I am done frying up the onion rings. I already took Glenn some. I actually even tried it, and I like them. I'm shocked that I'm saying that, but I like them. So I am not going to make myself French fries. I'm just going to have some onion rings. They're nice and golden. So yeah, it just, yeah, they taste really good, I thought. The onion does not taste like onion. It just doesn't have a taste at all. Because doing the water thing actually works. It just didn't have any gassy taste or anything. I thought they were really good. So I'm just gonna eat some onion rings. I've got my hamburger frying right now. I took Glenn his plate. The blueberry cobbler is done, and I'm gonna eat before I make mine. So yeah, we'll see if I come back to make my pumpkin streusel muffins. So this is one of the ones that came out in the last batch. You break it and the onion stays in there and it breaks off smoothly. Oh, can't get any better than that. So nice and crisp. Oh yeah. I found a new food that I like. Good. When I first tasted it, sorry, I still got some in my mouth. It actually tasted like a Funyun ring, those chips. But I'll be back when my plate is ready. Alright everyone, so I am done cooking supper. I'm so glad I like these onion rings. So I just put my hamburger, I put a slice of cheese on it, and I put it on bread. I was going to toast my bread, forget it, just put some bread there. So yeah, there's my burger and my onion rings, and that's my supper. Alright everyone, so this is part 2 of my chaotic day in the kitchen, and so I am coming back after supper to make my pumpkin muffins with streusel on top. So let's make them. Alright, so first I'm going to mix all the dry ingredients together. So in this small bowl, we're going to put 1.5 cups of flour. And I have so many dirty dishes right now. My kitchen's a mess. Alright, so 1.5 cups of flour, and then we have a teaspoon of cinnamon, ooh, that cinnamon smell is strong. And then it calls for a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. I think I'm going to put 2 teaspoons. Hopefully bring out that pumpkin taste. 1, 2. Alright. And then we're going to put a teaspoon of baking powder. I need to wipe this teaspoon down. Alright. I'm tired. My lower back is a little sore. But I saved all the leftover onion rings. So I'm either going to rewarm them in the air fryer or the oven tomorrow. Alright, so 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And then we're going to put a half a teaspoon of baking soda. So I put my baking soda in a container. And then we got a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Oh, let me grab the salt. All right. Do I sound tired now? And then we're going to put a half a cup of brown sugar, and I didn't even get those ready. I'll be back. Okay, so half a cup of brown sugar and a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. And then we're just going to mix these around. So this is all the dry ingredients. I actually cannot wait to taste these. Pumpkin season is here, for me at least. Alright, we're going to put this to the side, and we're going to put together our wet ingredients. Alright, so for our wet ingredients, we're going to put in 1/3 cup of oil. And then we're going to throw in 2 eggs. Oh. All right, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And we're actually going to put in some sour cream. We have a 1/4 cup of sour cream. Have you all baked with sour cream before? I don't think I ever put sour cream in a baking recipe before. I don't recall if I did. And the last wet ingredient, of course, would be pumpkin. So we need a cup of pure pumpkin, not pumpkin pie filling, but pure pumpkin. Pumpkin puree, or pure pumpkin, whatever it's called. Alright, so now we're just going to mix all this together. I just splashed some in my eye. Oh. It landed on the outside of the eye, right on my eyelash. Alright, so I better start preheating my oven. We're going to preheat the oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Alright, so we've got our wet ingredients. Now we're going to just add in the dry ingredients. Sorry, I'm not talking, guys. It's just that time of the night, and I'm just tired now. But I really wanted to make these because I don't feel like making any desserts tomorrow. So I like to just make them, especially if it's two different ones. Make them in one day, and that way the next day I don't have to worry about desserts. But you all know me. I love my muffins, love my pumpkin, and I love streusel. And if I wanted to, I could make an icing to go drizzle on top of the streusel, but I'll see how it is. Not sure I'm feeling that ambitious. Icing is so easy to make. It's just like powdered sugar and milk. Vanilla if you want to, but we'll see. Alright. So I think we're ready to start filling up some muffin things, thingamajigs. Alright, so I will be back in just a few moments. Alright everyone, so I have my batter here, and I'm using the cookie dough scooper. So I'm just going to put some in now. This is the bigger cookie dough scooper. I think that's the perfect amount. I think this recipe is supposed to be for 12 muffins, but again it depends on how much filling you put in there. Looks like I'm going to have some extra after this last one, so I think I might, instead of waiting, because I only have one muffin pan, and I don't feel like waiting and baking more, so I think I'm going to put a little extra on each one. Make them a little bigger. That way I'm done with everything except the cleaning. I'll probably still have more. Maybe, maybe not. These are going to be big muffins. Let me get the low ones first. Alright, now I just wait for the oven to finish preheating, and I will get these in the oven 375 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes. Alright, oven's ready to go. I will, oh no, I am not ready. What am I doing? I almost forgot my streusel on top. That was the whole point of making the streusel. Alright, so here it is. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I remembered that before I put these in. I would have been so bummed. So have any of you made anything pumpkin yet? Have you started the fall season baking? Now we are in our last couple weeks of August, so September 1st officially is the start of the fall season. Now, the date might not be till later in September, but September 1st we're going to have decorations up. I am enjoying as much of the season as I can. It's a lot of streusel. I still have some streusel left. So have you guys all made homemade streusel? You can use melted butter or cold butter. I think I just dropped some. I kind of like the melted butter. It's so much easier. Alright, I'm going to fill in some of these spots where I can see pumpkins still. So one other thing I had never recorded, and I think this was really when I really started my YouTube break in July. I made homemade cinnamon muffins, and I never recorded it, but it was good. So I want to make a coffee cake. That's what I want to do. I just really want to make a lot of stuff at home now. Having the meal plan, like I went off having the meal plan for a while, and we just like constantly every day, what are we going to eat, blah blah blah, you know, using the McDonald's app, even though it was cheap for 2 people and some stuff was free. It's just a part of eating out, you know. So when I did the meal plan this week, it really does help, because we haven't even opened the McDonald's meal app this week. Everything has been, we shopped for the week, we got stuff for lunch, we got stuff for supper, we have the plan. You know, we might change stuff up, but we still have the plan and we're sticking to it. So yeah, having the meal plan, for us at least, you know, it just keeps us on track. And some people don't need that. So now I'm putting it in the oven. Alright everyone, so here is the blueberry cobbler. And you can see inside, as I said, I was pretty sure it was going to turn out purple, and it did. So Glenn thought there was no blueberry taste in it, and I would agree, because I just took a chunk out of the corner there. I was swearing up and down. He wanted me to taste it last night, and I swore up and down I would not, because it's blueberry. So I did not taste it last night, but I thought to be fair, I did just take a chunk off that corner right there, and he is right. There is no blueberry taste or smell in it. It is a rather wet cake, but when I took it out of the oven, I had it in there for 50 minutes, which is longer than I had the peach one in. When I took it out of the oven, I put a fork through it, and nothing came up on the, not a fork, a toothpick. So the cake itself was done because nothing came out on the toothpick, but as, I don't know if you could tell, it's a very wet cake. And that stands to reason because you have the juice from the blueberry filling, you have sweetened condensed milk, you have melted butter. So, but it did come out with a clean toothpick. So that's his thought on that. He'd probably rather stick to the peach cobbler, and I would agree. After tasting it, I would stick to the peach cobbler as well. The crumb came out pretty good. The bigger chunks, and the longer you have this in the oven, the harder the bigger chunks are going to get. So keep that in mind. If you have to have something in the oven for a long time, maybe put the crumb or the streusel on halfway through, so the bigger pieces don't get as hard. The smaller pieces were soft, so that came out pretty good. I wouldn't probably wouldn't change nothing with that. So that's the take on the blueberry streusel, or the blueberry cobbler with the cake mix hack. Next time we're probably going to stick to the peach cobbler, and I'll record that one, but it probably won't be for a while. So I think we're probably done with cobblers right now. So that's the review on the blueberry cobbler with the cake mix hack. Alright everyone, so it is the next day from when I made these pumpkin streusel muffins, and I am so glad I made them because they are good. I like them. As you can see, there's not 12 here anymore. I ate like 3 of them last night. Well, let's see, there's 8, 9, 4. I ate 4 last night. That's how much I liked them. They have a good pumpkin taste. Only thing, this is what the inside looks like. And the only thing I would do different next time, in this recipe it called for I think it was 1 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. I added an additional teaspoon of it, or a little bit less than a teaspoon. I would actually even put more in, like 3 teaspoons or a tablespoon or something. The 3 teaspoons equal a tablespoon? It might. So yeah, I like these muffins a lot. I did not make the what do you call it? Icing. I did not make the icing for it. I just left it with the streusel, and they came out good. I like them a lot. I could smell the pumpkin. Yes, I love that smell. And I like the way they taste. I would just add more pumpkin pie spice next time for a little more pumpkin taste. But other than that I wouldn't change anything else. The streusel, no, Gypsy, no. The streusel, the bigger chunks came out a tad bit hard, but I put tin foil over the muffins overnight, and all the streusel is soft now. So that's what I was wanting to do, was soften up the streusel. So yeah, I love the streusel on top of it. I love the muffin. So there is the first fall pumpkin dessert or snack, whatever you want. I don't know, is a muffin a dessert or a snack? For me, it's a meal. Alright, so that's my review on the pumpkin streusel muffins. I'm glad I made them from scratch. I didn't use any cake mix. And that's going to do it for this video, guys. Yeah, it was a bit of a chaotic at supper, making supper and prepping for onion rings and getting the streusel and the cobbler ready. and then making these late at night. Yeah, so, but it was all worth it. So, alright, so now that's going to end this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch my videos and supporting the channel and spending this time with me. And with that, remember to live life, be good to yourself, and be good to others. Until next time.